Wow, new season of Dandadan. I love this guy. He's amazing. Uh-oh, everybody. It looks like 3 people on Reddit had an opinion about my favorite character in Dandadan. What am I gonna do? Okay, I'll be real. I just wanted an excuse to rant about him while we're still early on in his character arc. So, this is going to be a character analysis based solely on what we know about Jiji up through episode 8 of season 2 of the anime. Spoilers ahead, so make sure you're caught up. Also, I will be proposing what I think is the real source of his superpowers, so if that's all that you really care about, stick around. Most of the analysis I've seen of Jiji online seems concerned with his cool superpowers or his relationship with Momo and Okarun, which are all great topics, but they don't really get to the core of what I find interesting about him. He's a people pleaser! Now, I know what you might be saying, Jiji, a people pleaser? When we typically think of people pleasers, we think of like doormats. Jiji, meanwhile, is loud, obnoxious, and cartoonishly confident and self-obsessed. Sure, he was selfless when he went to rescue Evil Eye, but he's mostly giving dumb jock bro with a hero complex. And you wouldn't be completely wrong to have that read of his character, but there's a lot more going on than that. At its simplest definition, a people pleaser is someone who has an emotional need to please others at the expense of their own needs or desires. All of us make ourselves smaller at times to accommodate others. Society wouldn't function if we didn't. But people pleasers are typically labeled so because of them engaging in behavior for emotional reasons, like low self-esteem, fear of rejection, or guilt. What I find refreshing about the depiction of Jiji's people-pleasing is that he's not a constant doormat. He only people-pleases in specific situations in order to serve specific goals. I think this is why it's easy to miss this aspect of his personality unless you're super dialed into his character. Because yeah, Jiji does pretty unambiguously selfish things all the time. He teases and embarrasses Momo despite her protest, he makes all the girls swoon, and then he has this delicious beef with Okarun fighting over who's the biggest simp. So if he's comfortable with being assertive and taking what he wants, and he doesn't mind ruffling a few feathers on the way, then when and why does Jiji people please? Let's take another look at those examples I listed of why someone might engage in people-pleasing behaviors. Jiji has high self-esteem, loves rejection, but oh no! Jiji hates to burden others. He hates the idea of being pitied or coddled or saved. He's a happy-go-lucky, fun-loving kid. He's the center of attention, the life of the party. He never brings the party down. My absolute favorite illustration of this is when he's introduced to the rest of the class. As soon as the teacher says the word parents, he immediately starts flirting with this girl in the front of the class, being so obnoxious and over the top. And it works. The teacher's so exasperated and in disbelief of how goofy this kid is. You can hear him give up and think, yeah, this kid's not having any problems. You don't need to worry about him. Literally, if you've had trouble understanding Jiji's character, rewatch these episodes with the thought in your head, Jiji does not want to talk about his parents, and it'll make sense. This method of people-pleasing is way more effective than our archetypical doormat. Putting on a big smile and being like, don't worry guys, my parents are totally fine, there's nothing to worry about, is exactly what's going to make people start worrying about you. To drive home this point, I want to make a comparison between Jiji and another highly empathetic, emotionally mature people-pleaser from another anime, Shima Sosuke. No real spoilers for Skip and Loafer here, but if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. So in this scene, Mika, diva, icon, slay, is falling into a thought spiral about how she works so hard on her outfit and she's still no match for the effortless beauty of her peers. Shima clocks this and clocks the effort that she put into her outfit and is able to compliment her fashion. Now here's a couple similar scenes between Jiji and Okarun where Okarun is falling into a doubt spiral. Jiji is able to set people at ease by being a complete goof and an idiot, while still being open about his affections towards Momo. And now let's compare the aftermath. Mika, while no longer worried about her outfit, is now looking at Shima like, what is this guy's deal? Why does he seem like such a liar? He's so fake. No one is worried about Jiji after any of the examples I listed. They're safe from the thought spiral, they don't worry about Jiji anymore, and they don't even really clock that there's an act going on at all. Neither do some of the viewers. It's a very good act. What makes Jiji's act so effective is how authentic he's being. He is a genuine freak, an over-the-top clown show, a slut for the camera. Most of this isn't an act, which makes the times that he is acting harder to detect. And so he goes undetected. Almost! Yup, it's time to talk about envy and empathy, the spiritual prodigy, and the evil eye. So, the evil eye is a supernatural belief in a curse brought about by a malevolent glare, usually inspired by envy. Depictions date back to Mesopotamia, and belief in its influence likely originated within Indo-European, Mediterranean, and Middle Eastern cultures. It was brought to Japan by Minakata Kumagusu, who gave it a Japanese translation, Jashi, which is how it's referred to in the Dandadan series. It's very popularly used as a charm or a talisman to ward off the looks of the envious. Here's mine. So, this concept might be alien to those of you with 0 maidens or game, but success invites envy. Sticking out in a positive way, whether that be to traits you have or the things you possess, can encourage others to hate on you or wish for your downfall. Being envied seems like a natural state of being for Jiji. Despite everyone in the room looking like they want to wring his neck, he's completely content just spinning around free as a bird. He has it all. He has the looks, the charisma, the jokes, the physique. He's the only one of our main casts introduced so far that seems to have 2 loving parents. And while I'm not sure if we're supposed to interpret that he's rich, his house is certainly large and significantly modern compared to Momo and Seiko's living arrangement. But despite all these traits, the evil eye sought after Jiji for one specific reason. It's reiterated over and over that he was chosen for his heightened spiritual potential. Now, what does that mean? Like on a character level. What's different about Jiji that makes him so much more special compared to the others? Well, I mentioned it offhand a couple times, but Jiji is a highly empathetic person. While we're still learning about the mechanics of how spirits work in Dandadan, from what we've seen with the spirit crab and acrobat Silky, empathy seems to be key in overcoming and releasing or bonding with these spirits. So from what we know, it tracks that someone with a heightened degree of empathy would make a great exorcist. This is why Seiko calls him a genius while he's acting like an idiot to hide from his problems. He's the type of genius that she respects, an empath that's able to clock others' emotions and adapt to the situation in a way that benefits him the best. Although, I don't know if you noticed, when Seiko calls Jiji a genius, it doesn't really feel like a compliment. Like, you kind of get the sense that she's taunting him. I think this is because for many people, while empathy could be considered a superpower, it can also be considered a fatal weakness. Which leads to the most heartbreaking, tear-jerking scene of the anime. This makes me cry so much. I love you, Jiji, you're an angel! The evil eye sought out Jiji because it knew it would be understood by him. Its whole tragic backstory, none of this was a lie. Jiji sees past this monstrosity, past all of the creepiness, and he sees the genuine pain. And he doesn't discriminate, he doesn't hold back, he has to save this thing. This isn't ego and heroism driving him to this, it's guilt and empathy. Jiji knows that he doesn't deserve what he has. He did nothing to earn his parents, his lifestyle, his good looks, or his charisma. These are all things that he was born with, things that are innate to him. Jiji is privileged, and he feels guilty about it. He grew up under the constant surveillance of the evil eye. He knows people want to hurt him, to send malice his way, to curse him just because he has gifts that he never asked for and isn't able to distribute. And unlike most privileged jagoffs, his high degree of empathy means he feels it all. He's witnessed those emotions and he's made himself smaller, dumber, less admirable, all for the sake of their comfort. He doesn't want to make people sad just by existing. He uses his gifts and talents to make people happy, to make them feel better about themselves. And finally, here is the golden opportunity, the one he's been waiting for his whole life. Finally, he can help, he can share, he can give, he can be a good person, and he can save someone who got nothing. Finally, he can prove that he's not a stuck-up jerk. He's not going to whine about his parents attempting to end their lives. At least he had parents. That's why Jiji promises Evil Eye a lifetime, as much as he wants. Maybe if he gives away this life that he wasn't entitled to, he'll finally get rid of the guilt. And it was a trick. What's crazy is Evil Eye showed him the bad part too. The resentment, the hatred, the suffering. This shot sticks with me so much. Jiji felt the anger, and he still chose this. That's why I love this show so much. They're so quickly able to find a solution, a way to rid Jiji of the evil eye, but because they haven't healed the underlying cause, the reason that he got tricked, he's ready to get tricked again. Knowing everything, knowing that this thing is a killer, he wants to host it. He has to host it. He needs to save it, to fix it. Jiji post-exorcism reminds me so much of when you have a friend in a toxic relationship. Like, the other characters have so much more hostility towards the evil eye because they see the pain that it puts Jiji through. They watch as this thing steals their friend's bodily autonomy. No more cold water, no going to school. This thing is ruining his life, and yet, Seiko's right. They have to respect his decision. They can take care of him, they can show him love, but only he can be the one to decide to drop him. And as long as he's in I can fix him mode, he's gonna continue to suffer. The last thing that I want to point out is that Jiji's not just a poor little kicked around uwu boy. Cause well, the thing about trying really hard to be easygoing all the time and bottling up your anger is that it makes you really, really angry. The story I just told about how the evil eye was able to deceive Jiji is only half of it. It's the story that he'd like us to believe. It's definitely the story that he tells himself. Because all these labels, people pleaser, empath, the image of this goofy kid who's the life of the party, even his name evokes virtue, harmony, peacefulness. And yet underneath all of that, there is anger. While we still don't know everything that Jiji's been through, we at least have this traumatic occurrence with his parents, the way the other boys make assumptions about him and treat him at school, and now the girl he loves falling for someone else. And the Keto family, Jesus Christ. While Jiji may view the status quo as him being envied and having to soothe others' emotions, in life, things are rarely that black and white. Jiji has struggled and suffered behind the facade, and with Okurun, he might be feeling true envy for the first time. Nobody has it all, not even Chad and Stacy. Side note, when Okurun explained the 3 mistakes that Evil Eye made, I feel like everyone really focused in on the second one and completely missed the third. But this is why Okurun's able to escape this prison, and also why he's probably going to win this upcoming fight. As he's coming into his masculinity, Okurun is able to express his anger in a healthy way. Jiji is not. He represses it, and then it comes out as Evil Eye. So yeah, if Jiji keeps holding back his emotions, things might get worse before they get better. But wow, I really want him to get better! Like Okurun pointed out to him, it's okay to let others take care of you. And little by little, with his friend's support, we can only hope that Jiji learns to feel like he deserves that care. One day, he'll learn to drop the smile, show people his more brooding side, and get the emotional support that every human deserves. No matter how dreamy they are. Thank you all so much for watching this video! I've really wanted to get into making character analysis videos for a long time, but this is my first time posting, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it to the end of this video, drop me an evil eye emoji, and let me know if you resonated with Jiji as much as I did, or if you still don't understand this annoying little Energizer bunny. If you're curious about hearing more of my thoughts about Dandadan, check out the Nobody Leaves podcast. My co-host Sam and I already have a video up discussing Season 1, and we definitely are going to cover Season 2 once all the episodes are out. And I'm probably going to read the manga. I gotta read the manga. I gotta know what happens. This is my sweet little cinnamon roll. This was a lot of fun, and I hope to do some more character and media analysis in the future. Subscribe to this channel. That way I know that what I'm doing is good and that you like me and that I have your approval. Wow. Thanks for watching Kawaii. Had to do it. Enjoy Jiji! Enjoy Jiji! Enjoy Jiji! Enjoy Jiji!